ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to the ValveTime news for July 15th, 2015. Each week, we bring you the biggest talking points regarding Valve and the community. With virtual reality technology being notoriously hard to sell or demonstrate without literally sticking it on one's face, Valve and HTC have just begun a world tour of their Vive headset where they hope to demonstrate the device to consumers at various events across the world. This so-called world tour will visit 11 different cities between July and November this year, with the list likely to expand in the weeks and months to come as more events are added. The tour kicked off at San Diego Comic-Con this past week, with the trend of visiting major conventions set to continue for the duration of the tour, including Gamescom in Cologne, Germany, PAX Prime in Seattle, Paris Games Week in Paris, France, and even the International 2015 Dota 2 tournament. We've heard more dates are still being discussed to potentially fill in the rather massive gap throughout September and October, and we're hoping the Vive will make a public appearance at large-scale public gaming conventions throughout that time, including EGX in Birmingham in September or the Brazil Game Show in Sao Paulo in early October. We'll be sure to keep you up to date as the HTC World Tour expands in the near future. That wasn't all for the HTC Vive this past week, however, as the Playhubs Developer Game Jam hosted by Valve and Bossa Studios got underway in London this weekend. While the Game Jam itself is designed for advanced programmers with experience creating games or software for virtual reality, our very own Nick managed to briefly visit the in-progress event on Saturday evening, where he got a quick look at the participants before being allowed to watch the HTC Vive and its base stations in action for a good 10 minutes or so. In that time, Nick was able to watch a colleague of his live demo several of the VR experiences previously shown off at GDC 2015 and other industry events. Demos Nick caught a glimpse of include exploring an underwater shipwreck, painting in a 3D environment, and even a full playthrough of the Aperture robot repair sequence. The original version of this roundup script covered the Aperture demo in more detail since Nick hadn't quite gotten his hands on it at that point, but that's all changed now. Now armed with first-hand experience and plenty of footage, we'll be extensively covering the HTC Vive, the Aperture demo, and the Playhubs Game Jam in at least 2 videos later this week or early next, so definitely make sure to stay tuned for this. You don't want to miss it. This week brought rather good news for Compendium owning Dota 2 players, as Friday's update finally introduced the promised Immortal 3 treasure, bringing with it 9 new items. As with most Immortal quality items, each one dramatically changes the particle effects and icon for one of their respective heroes' spells, as shown here with the atomic ray thrusters for Gyrocopter. The update also introduced 2 new styles for the Almond the Frondillo pet, unlocking a red variant for those with a Compendium above level 125 or a gold variant for those lucky enough to receive one as a drop from the Immortal 3 treasure. Elsewhere in the Compendium, the Appendix section was finally updated to include information on all the teams and players set to take part in the International 2015 and its remaining preliminary events. It's hardly the most exciting bit of news, but it'll be worth checking out if you want to scrub up on your Dota 2 competitive knowledge ahead of the event's opening in about 4 weeks' time. A blog post released 2 days earlier also revealed Dota 2's first non-virtual Compendium reward in the form of the Collector's Aegis. As the name suggests, the Aegis is a 1/5 scale replica of the Aegis of Champions given out to the winners of each international tournament. With antique brass plating and a gold 2015 themed finish, each Collector's Aegis will come inscribed with the year of its release and will be awarded to every player with a Compendium level of 1000 or above after the conclusion of this year's grand final on August 8th, 2015. The mini Aegis will also unlock an in-game visual effect for that player's fountain, making the Aegis of Champions glow until the start of the next international event the following year. All of these references to the year of the Aegis' release make it seem pretty likely Valve are looking to turn this into a major new recurring element of the annual tournament, so expect to see more Collector's Aegises released in the future. Once your Compendium has reached level 1000, you need to fill in your shipping information on a new page over on the Dota 2 website to be eligible, which we'll leave a link to in the video description. This past week was a relatively quiet one, and certainly didn't help that one of our biggest talking points revolved around the recent departure of one of Valve's longest standing and most well-respected artists. It was recently discovered by ValveTime community member AYKO that Ted Backman, one of the Half-Life series' leading concept artists, had departed from Valve back in May 2015 after over 15 years with the studio. His massive portfolio of work over the past decade and a half has included designing the original Zombies, Barnacles, Gonarch, Hound Eyes, the Nihilanth, multiple Half-Life 1 locations, and a massive number of the units used by the Combine, including soldiers and their numerous variations, gunships, dropships, shield scanners, striders, stalkers, the Hunter, and the Advisor, among many others. Mr. Backman also worked on both entries of the Portal series and was partly responsible for one of the only officially released pieces of concept art for the Long Dead Episode 3 project, as well as the designs behind a number of fan-favorite scrapped creatures, including the Combine Synth Soldier, Combine Sniper, and the Consul. We've noticed one or two people panicking about what this could mean for the future of the Half-Life series, and while it's true his work has been beyond influential for Valve's games, let's respect his decision to leave the company and wish him well in likely trying to move on and experiment with something new for the first time in around 16 years. Good luck in the future, Ted, bon voyage, and best of luck in your future endeavors. And on that rather somber note, that brings us to the end of another week of Valve news. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch TV, to check out our older content, and to join the conversation over on the ValveTime.net community forums. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.